Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Sorry for the delay. My computer's been very slow today. Like something's eating up all the disk. Yeah, I expect in the next year or so, maybe not, definitely sometime this year, probably sometime this summer, I'll have to just, accept that it is time to replace my PC. Yeah, the one I have currently is from 2016, so 8 years. Actually, it might be 2015. So 9 years. It's an old one. I've upgraded it a few times, but at the end of the day, a decade old computer. Hey, Yozawa, welcome. Hey there, Eric. I appreciate it. Glad you could stop by. All right, let's get things open. Let's see. Oh, my PC is so slow. Half of it's being done by anti-malware executable, but I've scanned and it says no virus, causing me stress and heartache. Everything's taking so long to open. I don't think there's any worse feeling than like wanting to get something done and your computer's just that's like that's like devastating to your emotional well-being because you already are like having to put forth energy for working, but now it's making things harder than it should be. You know, like it's not like I'm doing anything stupid. I'm just literally doing like I'm opening programs. Like it's not anything crazy for the most part. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we're probably going to be finishing the map today, assuming Roblox ever stops configuring. It's genuinely impressive to me how slow Roblox is sometimes. And 100 disk usage. Great. Thank you, Roblox, for somehow managing to use 100% of my disk. Let's see. It says Roblox 32-bit is running. Does that mean there's a 64-bit one? Because, I mean, 32-bit computers are pretty rare, aren't they? Like, that's like 1990s? I don't know. The configuring Roblox Studio. Genuinely, what do you think they're configuring? Like that's what I want to know. Like what actually is happening when it says configuring? 'Cause I have my suspicions that um, some it's doing more than it needs to. It's like checking every file, you know? It's like it's re-downloading itself 5 times. Okay, open um, Sanctuary City, and YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Ignore that. Sometimes it just happens. Like also, I don't. It says that like I don't know what it's expecting of me to do. Like what am I supposed to do? Just make the internet better? I don't know. I'm gonna build I don't know. What Google Fiber directly to the headquarters of YouTube, so that we fix this. Like yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm in a grumpy mood today, y'all. The I think I carried over the energy of yesterday, but once we start getting some progress in, I think that'll cheer me right up. Let's see. So, what have y'all been up to? Okay, we got things loading. I did a little bit of work, like not really any work, but I did a little bit of work yesterday, and it was mostly I changed the leaf texture and I moved the floor a little bit to be more even. So yeah, technically there is a bit of extra development that was not streamed, but it's like nothing really noteworthy. It's just recoloring the tree asset and editing the floor a little bit. Okay. Okay, so the prison's looking good. Nice, nice. Since town hall is finished, can we do the apartment? Hey there, bot chip. What's going on with the new game? So yeah, it's actually an old game in a sense. I'm remaking Superhero Life 2, and right now we're working on a first rough draft of the map. Um, and I think, yeah, so let's check out some more map stuff today. Uh, do, do, do. I think also let's so in terms of the actual map, we have a hospital, apartments, and bank. And I guess Eric has requested apartments. Is everybody in agreement with apartments, or are we working on something else? Mhm. I think the apartments one is going to be interesting because we both want to have a lot of space, but also there's kind of the aspect of so all the parts of Superhero Life 2 will be there. Yes, asterisks. Basically, I'll be improving them and reshuffling them a little bit, but for the most part, your previous character should transfer over. If a power doesn't transfer over, it will be replaced with something new. But for the most part, like it'll be within the same thing. Like maybe the fire punch will get replaced with like a fire slash kind of thing, or just like general fire powers. But you should see everything more or less transfer in a coherent way. Um, okay, so we have this apartments, bank, hospital. Let's see. So let's start by looking at some apartments. Okay. Do we keep game passes or have to buy new ones? All of the game passes will transfer, and if any of them don't, they will be refunded to you generously with in-game credits. Um, will you add the height function like the one from Superhero Life 3, or maybe even add a shrink and grow power? We'll probably add height. I don't know about a shrink and grow power because building a map for someone to be large enough, that's kind of a headache. I don't know. I can see why people would want to shrink and grow power. It is also very much a pain point from like a developer perspective. It's kind of like how X-ray vision can kind of be a headache because it just adds so many performance issues. Um, so usually you'll have to just kind of like make people glow or make important things glow. Um, but yeah, let's see what else. Okay, we have, so let's look at some apartments. Okay, so let me pull up this. Problem with apartments is there's like, it's literally like since, you know, for a long time, people have needed a place to live. And so there's a lot of examples of you know how to of how that looks. Like we have luxury apartments, like just the as far as I can tell, the dang it, I pressed copy and it didn't copy. Um, yeah, like I think actually finding a good way, like this, these buildings are nice, but they're a bit too luxurious, almost like, you know. And also, we have to make sure that the apartment size itself actually works with the thing. So let's copy over just the general. Let's get the dimensions of it. Where? Okay. So we're just gonna get a block and see how exactly. Okay, so we have this block right here. Oh, but I should have. Wait, where did it go? There it is. Just had it. Wait a second. Y'all saw it for a second, right? I'm not crazy. It was there for like a very brief second. Okay, so it's up there. Now, what about now? Where? Here it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, so now we have approximately one, um, what's it called? You have approximately one, you know, area of apartment. And with that in mind, actually, let's. Mhm. Will there be fall damage? Maybe. I don't know. I think that that kind of like impact fall damage stuff should be based on like a strength attribute to some extent. But at the end of the day, like it's not a huge priority. CJ Skitsar, you have no idea. Um, am I going to implement anti-cheat? I mean, the code will be safer and harder to cheat than the original, but at the end of the day, this isn't exactly a competitive game. I'll I'll be putting in more effort to avoid certain types of cheating than others. But yeah, I think the goal is support sort of modding with more fleshed out custom server stuff, but then restrict on the actual hacking, you know? Uh, Opinions on having parking garage underneath the apartments. So I'm not against that. I think that could be pretty cool. Um, let's see that there isn't a ton of space below the apartments, so we'll have to see. But I am open to that. I think that could be a pretty cool idea if implemented well. let's just start by accepting some limits here. Okay, so this is hmm, I was kind of hoping that there'd be more space, you know? What would be the best way to solve this? Because ideally bases would transfer over, but at the same time, okay, let me open up the original Superhero Life 2 and then just grab the specific apartment. Where does this game take place? What country? I mean, like functionally, it's governed by an American government, but it's not necessarily in like on like the United States. It's like an island somewhere. Um, and Roblox is using 90% of my disk. Okay, so hit server script service weather and server. So let me check for. Okay, this one. Okay, this one looks like pretty. This is pretty apartment oriented. Okay, yay. All right, so is the original. Here is the original one. Looks like it fits pretty cleanly into here, but is every section of it literally um, occupiable? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what would be the most responsible way to port things over. Because the full I think I might just have to accept a smaller amount of space, you know? But no, but that's I'm annoyed at myself. How do I best make this a fun shape? You know? Maybe okay, what if we removed this? Okay, what if we removed this road here to give this more room to breathe? You know? Or if we moved the road over. Okay, so let's move that here. All right, let's also let's bump it 2 studs inwards just to okay. So if we moved this here, would that fit? Okay, and we can always just move this one a little bit closer this way. Dang, actually moving the road is going to be a headache. Look at that. You see, because like you have to actually dig out the original. Okay, it's a lot of work just to get it even set up in the right area. Um, hmm, okay. What if we staggered it like that? Okay. So what if we did instead we stagger things a bit. So, okay, right up to the edge, inwards, right up to the edge, inwards, and then we do this. Now that could allow for a more, for a nicer building. Okay, so let's apartment block. No worries, Eric. See, also actually, uh, yeah. So someone deleting the map. I don't know. I don't know how they were doing it before. I'm gonna guess they were utilizing something with an unprotected aspect of the base system. Like maybe you can just pass an instance and they delete it. Uh, but hopefully we should, if people are deleting the map, that is going to be a high priority thing to patch. Okay, so now we have to deal with the fact that the original building had a relatively high capacity, whereas this one does not. Okay, so we might have to do two apartment buildings, y'all. You know, that might be the only realistic way to solve this. Okay, so how many people did I support in the original? What was the original size for this? So it was, so residences, how many was that? 20. So I supported 20 people in the game. So that means every tower has to handle, so 1, 2, 5, 6. So that would be, so 6, 5. So what if I instead did 4 buildings with this? So mint apartment blocks, plugins, automatic. Okay, so let's start with this one. Um, yeah, no, Alan would modify the map, but to my understanding, he usually was pretty responsible when it came to deleting them. Okay, so let's try a few things. First one, there. Okay, so we have to find a place for 4 different apartments. It's going to be a headache. So there. Okay, so let's also do one of let's move these down and up. Okay, so we have, let's also just make every alternate one a little bit lighter, you know, just so we can tell them apart. Not that. There we go. Make a comically tall apartment building. I mean, we might have to. The main issue is just we're going to need at least 3 areas, I think. Okay, so we have, so on this one, we have five, and so we can work on hopefully making the, I think we're going to have to turn the school around. We're going to turn this school around. Let's just move that out for a second, and I'm going to replace the, so where's the terrain painter at? Terrain painter. Paint, there it is, okay. So focus on that, ground. Okay, so let's threshold 0 scale. Let's make that bigger. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. That one. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I might make a modified version of the terrain painter, just to suit my own interests and upgrade the UI a bit. Then I'll offer it to Tyrage because he's a really cool dude, and I'm sure he would appreciate some help with all the open source work he does. I should probably talk to him first, though, so to make sure that like he either A, hasn't made a version, I just need to find it, or B, that he doesn't have like some recommendations on how to do that. Okay, so school. Okay, let's put that there. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, so now let's also accept the degree of we need to have a lobby story at the beginning. So let's call this lobby, and we're gonna make this a light blue, I think. And we're gonna have that one be kind of the defining. Okay. Okay, so lobby. Um, cool. You don't want anyone to have a street view into your secret base, you know? That seems like not ideal. Okay, so it's looking okay. Hey there, car reverse. Welcome. Um, yeah, so this is probably an artificial island. I don't know. I'm considering adding like a cityscape kind of near it. I don't know. I will. I'm gonna finish the map first before I do that. because I like the aesthetic of like a nearby city, but I just, making that in a way that looks good and is performant. Okay. All right. So we have that. Um, I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to it being in a Great Lake. I think that'd be kind of fun. I was born in Chicago after all. It's mostly just for the trade reasons. I know there is shipping in the Great Lakes, but these are some big ships. I'm not sure. Well, I can imagine there being bigger ships in the Great Lakes. They just would have to be able to fit in the rivers. We'll see. Oh yeah, yeah, no, exactly, John. Um, I wish there were more subscribers. I appreciate it. Really, I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to become like a successful streamer. I'm really just wanting to engage with my community as I make this game. You know, I think that's the main goal. Um, okay, so we can probably add another two. Um, so let's see, select and explore. How many do we have right now? 17. Okay, so we need ideally another three, but I don't know if I can get that much. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, I have an idea. The bank is going to double as an apartment building. How does that sound? Because we don't need all these floors to be a bank, you know? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone? Like we're gonna have the lobby of the bank be a be an apartment. We're gonna become more efficient with this. Okay, so let's with this new tactic in mind. Okay, so okay, so we can probably do another layer on top. Okay, so how many we got? All right, see the gaming. Will there be a hospital and shopping mall? So the hospital will be this building right here. The shopping mall is actually been turned into a pier for general shopping purposes. Think of it like an outdoor mall. Okay, so let's think this through. Okay, so we have an apartment block. How many? Okay, so how many do we have? We have 26. Okay, 28. 30. Okay. I think we're set. Okay, so not only have we been able to do that, we've increased the server fill to 30 if we want. Um, so 3, 6, 9, 6, 8. So let's see. Well, yeah. So currently, I think the apartment styles are going to be the interior itself will be of varying qualities. Some of them will definitely have, you know, different exteriors, but I think they'll all be fairly nice buildings. Let's see. I might consider lowering this one a bit. Not all of them need to have a high. Um, not all of them need to have a high lobby necessarily. And then same with this one. I think I'm going to lower that too. All right. Yeah, the news building is this one right here. Um, let's see. Sorry, just messing around with the shape a bit more. Okay, so now that we have these, let's actually make them into apartments. Um, okay, so we're going to skip the bank for now, but with this in mind, let's try to actually build this one as a shell because we know we're going to be using all of the space. Um, so we're going to build this one a little bit more thoughtfully. Let's see, what's a good building material? Or like, well, let's actually go back to choosing the styles. Um, let's see. I think we have a variety available to us. There's the big glass ones. There's more the simple. This is the one I'm used to seeing in like the Midwest. Just not really space efficient, but all right. This looks a bit dry for the Midwest though. Might be somewhere further, maybe Colorado. I don't know. Um, where's a good brick one? I miss. We have a lot of brick apartments in Indiana. So let's see. Do do do. The pool. Yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to a pool. I think that that could be fun. I do, yeah. This is a nice little luxury area. Is this a CG render or is this real? I'm guessing CG render because this place is too beautiful to be empty. Hmm. The okay, so we're gonna have a big glass one. Let's have that one be in like the nicest, be like the nicest one. So um, we need one of them that looks kind of like a bank as well. Uh, let me look for more styles. Okay, like this one looks fine. You know, I'll be honest, I don't entirely understand why everyone thinks these apartments are ugly. Like I can understand, you know, wishing that there was more variety. I think a lot of them do start kind of looking like this. But at the same time, like I don't know, I like modern architecture. I don't hate it with like the passion that so many seem to. Um, let's see. Hey there, Grizz. Welcome. Basketball court. I think yeah, a basketball court would be fun. I just if I add a basketball court, I want to make it functional, ideally. Um, so yeah. Okay, this one right here, this one I'm about to show you. I saw this one in Indiana all the time. This one is probably the one, especially when I was growing up. It's like this kind of style. They just built it kind of like a big house. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to think of any. I'm trying to look out for because the design that worries me is the bank. Because the bank has to look good. Yeah, but it also has to look like official and regal, you know? Like it can't be one that's just a it can't be one with with balconies for sure. This one this one might work, but it's a bit it's not bank enough, you know? Like I feel like the bank building being like kind of a supervillain life too. I did consider that a while ago, but I think it's more that ended up being kind of dropped because I realized, well, people play as supervillains in superhero life. It's just calling it super life is a bit more ambiguous, I think. And also, unfortunately, I also to anyone who's wondering, I am aware superhero is one word. I just did not realize that back in 2017, and I it's too late to change it. I've thought about it. I've wanted to. It is too late to change it. I cannot go superhero no space life. I've thought about maybe adding a dash, like a between super and hero, but that's still wrong. It's just, you know, I'm just hoping people don't think about it too much. Let's see. I'm just going to start by looking at some images of banks, bank building. Just because that's the one, like, we're because now that we have apartments over the bank building, it actually has to be kind of it actually has to look and fit. Well, actually, hold up. Let me think about this. What if I put the bank building? What if I put the bank building like right here? Because the bank itself doesn't need to be massive or anything, right? Like it can be like a smaller bank. Would that be too lame? No, it should be bigger. Let's see, Bank Life one. Yeah, no, yeah, suit glitch is definitely becoming official. Uh, let's see, what are some other bank tower type things? Okay, so this is the Pan American Bank building. It's very much of its time though. Do, do, do. U.S. Bank building in Spokane. Where is Spokane? Is that in Wisconsin? Somewhere cold. I get cold vibes. I don't remember beyond that. Then there's the Los Angeles Bank Tower, the one that's in GTA 5. Um, it's crazy how because they tilted the windows like this, it literally looks like a texture. You know, like it just looks like a texture because like you would expect like this to be like a quirk of the geometry, but it just looks like they had like a flat texture that they put over a slightly not flat building. Okay, it's just funny. Um, Milwaukee. Okay, well, I know that's in Wisconsin. I think I just have to accept to some extent that banks are boarding. Um, okay. This one, this one is not Bank of Georgia building in the country of Georgia. Um, it's very interesting. I like it, but I don't think we should take it for inspiration. Hmm. Okay. Belfast Bank. Yeah, Eric, sorry that this kind of got sidetracked on bank stuff. It's because I want to find the style that works for an apartment and a bank. So it's just like, finding that balance. Yeah, though you would have to be pretty silly to rob a bank that a superhero lives in. Or worse, be a supervillain and rob the bank that you live in. Shortest chase ever. First National Building in Detroit. All right, I think that'll be it. I think this is it. This is it right here. This is something which could be apartments, but also definitely not. Like sort of like though even honestly just kind of like a stone. Okay, but like this settles it in terms of like it's definitely got to be a stone thing. Um, honestly, maybe like just using this material even. Um, let's see how. Just let's every time I don't want to just reuse the Superhero Life 2 one, though it has a good bones, you know. I think it's just now that like we have to think about it as a it's because it has that narrowing part. And as you can see here, a lot of the apartments that we're going to be using are just you know, based in this part, you know. It's it's tough. It is tough. Good question. Did you use linked sources in Superhero Life 2? I've heard Roblox has made some changes to delete it. Yes, I did use them much to my regret because they kept on losing all my data. That's why they remade package. That's why they made packages because linked sources just sucked. I think like the lights used them or something. It, I don't know. I don't think it may be the teleports. I don't think that they're like actually um, removing them, or if they are, you know, fingers crossed, I get this game done in time to avoid that. But yeah, no, linked sources were awful. Like linked sources to this day, as a result, I don't use the Roblox packages because I just can't I can't trust them. Okay, okay. So it's looking all right. We're gonna have to spice it up a bit, of course, but for the most part, I'm not minding that concept. How do we spice it up though? Hmm. Let's add two more here. Cut this down short, and then put some stuff on top. Let's kind of like do like a bit of an Empire State Building kind of thing, where it just gets a little bit smaller towards the top. You know, I think that could work all right. And actually, no wait, this could work perfectly. And what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange these so that they line up in the center. Okay, let me position. Okay, so let's get a feel for the specific. Okay, so we want this to be. So now that we've added two up there, we can shrink this down a little. Okay, so how many do we have? So select and explore, 30. Okay, perfect. Have you seen the remix of Super Life 2? I have. It was very cool. Definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. No, yeah, no, the bank robbing in Superhero Life 2 mechanically is not very compelling. So I don't blame anyone for not like, you know, rushing to do that. Okay, so then I will be adding street decoration stuff, probably with the same technology I used for these things. I just need to get around to implementing that. Um, hmm. Da-da-da. So now to line this up on the back. Okay, so then what's a good thing to actually put? Okay, so or let's do 10 actually. Um, with what building is it making? Oh yeah, bank and apartments. I'm splitting up the apartments across multiple buildings to for one allow for you know more more stuff, but also just so 30. Okay, so I have that working. Looks all right. Yeah, no, sorry for the very ADHD camera movements. Whenever I rewatch the stream, I'm like, how do y'all tell what's going on? I can't tell what I'm doing. I'm just like zooming around, like it's very twitchy. I decide what would look best. Would it be like a double one like this, or okay? So I think we'll do it like this, and Just accept things are going to be a bit tall. We can make the news tower a little bit taller. Okay, so that looks good. Raising the height also allows for me to, sneak in potentially another 2 here, which is nice. How about 1 there and then 1 here? All right, we have some good apartment stuff. You like the news tower, the torch tower? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I like it too. Just trying to decide like the specific height at which stuff starts to just finding the specific height at which you get the best effect. Yeah, so I think these look good. Um, thank you, thank you. Okay, so get another one of these going. Can't remember. Did we flip these? I think we flipped these. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I was like, they did like I was could have sworn like, didn't we do something to the school? Didn't we? Wasn't there a forbidden secret? And there was. It was that the school's textures are actually upside down. Um, okay. Okay, so let's get that part done. Thank you, Caillou. Um, let's see. Just got to. Yeah, so this is definitely first draft, like rough draft kind of situation where, yeah, So let's actually select all of these. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. So all right, that's looking pretty good. Um, I'm torn. Would it look better like that? I think it would. Okay. Um, so let's just start by raising the roof. Then, you know, getting this part to match. Oh, did I remember to flip these? I did. I could have sworn I flipped these. You going crazy? Because aren't the ledges supposed to be under it? Hmm. Well, that should be an easy enough thing to fix at least. Okay, so now, okay, so this looks all right. This is better. Okay, so we have this, we have the bank building. Um, okay, so we have these towers, the labs. Okay, so then I think let's actually move over to the next apartment. Um, we will we'll just have to be a little bit more creative. Let's see, what's a good way that we could make this building fun, you know? I have an idea. Let's see how much should this could we get away? Okay, so let's do that. Let's start by getting all of these aligned on a single position. Okay. Uh, Z. Okay. So then from there, already that's kind of a nice look. Maybe I should just keep that. Yeah, I think I might just keep that. Well, okay, let me think about um, okay. So let me think about what would be the nicest okay, so then we should have some alleys here and there. And one behind the school for, bullying. I'm mostly kidding, though. I do think, having a place for the hero to get beaten up, that seems to be a key part of many superhero stories. Um, so um, yeah, you're only bullying each other in as like part of the character hero's journey, not like being mean to each other. I think does that make sense to you? Let's see. I think we're pretty good on time. Okay, so let's polish this up. Jenga tower. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that. Though it won't look nearly as weird once I wrap it, because all these overhangs aren't going to exist in the final one. Just for clarity. Um, let's see. We have. I could have sworn there was a third facade. Yeah, there's three of them. Dark gray metallic two, pine cone. Okay, so let, let me so facade. Okay, so there's that one. There's that one. Okay, this one is definitely good for. Is this different? Oh, it is. Yeah, it has pillars. Okay, yeah, no, this one's actually perfect for I think a lot of these apartments. Uh, where's the dummy at? Dummy. That's a lot of. So let's just close that, close that, close that. Oh, before I get too carried away though, let's actually um, let's group this together into a single apartment. So apartment blocks, lobby. All right, so bank, map. Okay, so we have the bank. So now where is the where is the dummy? There it is. Okay. So let's so I think that this window isn't exactly a horrible size, but I think we could size it a bit better. So let's first 2A. Hold up. I already did this. Yay. Go me. Okay, so then we don't have to worry about that. And I think that's sized pretty well. Let's okay. Let's go all the way to the top. Oh, that's going to be a bit tough until okay. So there, there, there. Okay, so now copy this. You see the vision? I'm glad to hear. Yeah, no, I think it's looking all right. In terms of coloring it, I might let's see what's the right. So maybe kind of a bluish. Maybe not that blue, but like something a little bit more like that. That material. Let's see. How about? Because I want it to be bluish, but I don't want it to be that blue. I want it to be like a slight tint. That that probably works. Um, Thank you, Eric. Thank you. So I think that's looking all right. The Yeah, we're gonna replace these with actual Windows things eventually. It's just building that up first. Okay, so we're doing a quick. Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, I think when it comes to building a city, you really only have like two options for American cities, and that's like New York or maybe like Seattle. I'd say that the reason I say Seattle over like say San Francisco is because San Francisco has a very distinct flavor, but I think a lot of the generic things about like Seattle, I view it as kind of a generic city. Like I feel like you can see a lot of similarities between Seattle and other cities. Um, it's just it's got the West Coast vibe personified, whereas I think San Francisco has a little bit more of an explicit identity from like all their interesting zoning laws and such. And LA just looks too ugly for anyone to take inspiration from it. So yeah, those are the options. The okay, so we have this. When will there be Superhero Life 4 development streams? Well, arguably, this is a Superhero Life 4 development stream. Like in terms of what is actually being like created here, a lot of it's going to be reused for Superhero Life 4. Like that's the goal really. It's that I make this code once, and as a result, I never have to. I never have to worry about a game falling behind because they'll be all be running off the same code with same asset standards and such. So yeah, I think that's the dream at least. So we have this exact studio place is not because this one's based on the map. The cool thing about if you have a VS Code Rojo workflow, adding your code and development assets to a game is actually very easy. It's just a command line thing. And so they're all going to be synchronized with a GitHub workflow and auto-published. I've experimented with that a bit before, like Infrastructure, for example, was published via workflow. And I think, yeah, Wasteland Engineer too. I haven't published a game manually in a very long time. It's just because once you've used a GitHub workflow once, just to verify that there's all the things are type safe, run some custom tests. Once you do that, it's kind of hard to go back. You know, the yeah, San Francisco. Oh, hey there, Shardo. Thank you very much. Yeah, glad you could stop by. Will the blimp return? Uh, Probably. I think the blimp was cool. So I'm open to it returning. I guess we will see, but I do think the blimp returning would be pretty fun. Yeah, I'd love for I love if there was a purpose for it though. The okay, so San Francisco separate place everyone wants to go as a vacation. Yes, yeah, that's the I think it just has a bunch. It puts a lot of effort into making itself livable in a lot of the right ways, but as a result, because it hasn't controlled the actual cost of living, all of the nice aspects of San Francisco get just drowned out. It's kind of like a Vancouver situation where most people can agree Vancouver is a nice place to live, but because the cost is so high, you get a lot of issues. Like there's a reason homelessness and the drug use associated with it have become a staple of people's discussion around San Francisco, and it's because it's too expensive. The city itself is good; it's the price, and that's a lot of it's because of all the homeowners there who want to get their investment. I genuinely say housing does not should not be your retirement. You should not buy a house so you can retire. Housing should be the place you live. Honestly, I might just rent indefinitely and then put my savings in like index funds and stuff because that'll get you a more consistent return. And then also just keep the price down. I think yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan with how the U.S. and Canada do house prices. I don't think many people are though. It's not exactly a hot take that the housing market is horrible. Even when the housing market's good, it's bad. Does that make sense? Um, let's see. Better than Detroit? Uh, I've been to Detroit. Obviously, there were some rough areas, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was nice. Like it's obviously a city, so it's not. Don't go there for like the most pleasant experience on earth. But I I don't know. I enjoyed visiting Detroit. There are definitely nicer areas of it that are pretty good. Like when someone says, "Oh yeah, I live in Detroit," it doesn't inherently have to mean like they're in a bad place anymore. Kind of like New York in the '80s, except the New York in the '80s was actually like it was hell. Like it was an apocalypse. I was very shocked when I first saw those photos. Um, but yeah, let's see. Do. Okay, so we have that. Now we just need to decide one more glass building. hmm Yeah, no, it's really calmed down there. You're completely right. So window wall. Da, da, mhm. Okay, so we have that. Oh wait, I should have grouped these together before starting that. Okay, that's on me. Um, Now how do I? So I'm just going to unselect these. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so group together, park, apartment. Uh, okay, so we're gonna put that there. Okay, so we have this, and now let's finish up this one. The gaming zone, please find new material. You're gonna get yourself temporarily banned if you're not careful. Please. Uh, let's see. The Yeah, okay, so here is the concrete. In terms of crime, Bronx is probably worse. When I lived in New York, I lived in the Heights, actually just north of Washington, Washington Park, Fort Washington. It was the one. It was the one neighborhood just north of the Heights, but before the Bronx. Um, and okay, so gaming, the N word is bad because it is a slur with a lot of history. Um, so you shouldn't say it because it has been associated with some very awful things. Um, Wait for a history class to go over it. Once you get to middle school, they will go over it. I promise you. All right. But yeah, no, the Bronx is yeah, the Bronx is very much a I don't I, whenever I went to the Bronx, I felt fine, I guess. Like that's like it like even saying it's like the bad part, like I'm sure like there's like crime statistics to like back it up, but I whenever I went to the Bronx, I genuinely felt pretty safe for most of New York. The only place that I felt a little bit like, okay, this place is a little bit sketchy was probably I think of East Harlem. It just the buildings were very run down, and yeah, that was probably the area that came to my mind. But still, like, didn't actually have any negative experiences there. Now, Central Harlem, that place is amazing. I was very close to moving there. Um, let's see. Uh, in fairness, I think that New Jersey is fine. Like whenever when I was living in was it Washington Heights? Is that what it's called? I need okay now I'm looking at a map of New York because I need to remember what the neighborhood I was in was called. I think it was Washington Heights. Um, let's see the oh yeah no I didn't I have never I was not there for any earthquakes. Hope everyone was all right. I didn't really hear about that. Why is Google Chrome? Okay. Okay, Manhattan neighborhoods. I was in Washington Heights. Yeah, okay, I was in Washington Heights. Whenever I looked over the river, I would see New Jersey and I think, oh, that place has $600 less a month of rent, and that was it. That was enough to keep me going, knowing that one day I could move to a place where I was paying less rent. Um, and that was true, though I ended up moving to Colorado instead, where I paid $1,500 less rent. New York is a bit, y'all may not have heard about this, but New York's actually a bit pricey. I know. Crazy. Yeah, you heard it here first. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. So we have the buildings set and wrapped. Yeah, yeah, no. $700. Can you I don't even know if that get you a box. Yeah, the it is very pricey to live there. Okay, but it seems like we have a pretty solid area. Um, I'm gonna make these kind of a concrete for now. Just kind of like make it so that they blend in a little bit better. Okay, so let's, uh, I'm gonna make this one a bit more on the red side, bluish red, I guess, kind of purple. Okay, that looks okay. And then I'll make this one. We'll make it brick and kind of a. Okay, so we have that, and I'd say that for the most part, the we've got a pretty done thing here. Let's actually. Okay, I'm gonna do something here very quickly. Let's just copy this lobby area. Um, just kind of place it at the foundation of this, and we'll let that handle things. Let's see. I guess this side is a little bit more of a little bit more touristy, so we can reduce it a little bit. All right. The uh, uh, what's going on? All right. Gaming zone. I'm getting tired of this. Okay. I'm putting you in timeout. 30 minutes. Actually, let's let you know. That'll be there for the rest of the stream. It's nothing personal. I just we're not here to talk about that, man. You gotta you gotta behave. Please. You know, this is a superhero life development stream. We gotta be appropriate. Okay? If you want to learn more about why slurs are bad, there are many online resources. Um, I don't think this stream should be one of them. Okay? How about this? 10 minutes, and then, we'll just keep on going down until we get to 24 hours, and then it'll be a ban. Okay? So let's just, this topic, I'm putting a moratorium on it. We're not talking about it. Okay? 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see. It's a shame. Like, just, yeah, it's usually fun, when people are in chat, but sometimes people just do not understand how they're coming across. And I think that's part of maturing, understanding when your jokes are going too far. Hmm. Wolfganger, he wasn't saying, I don't know if he was saying the N-word, but he kept talking about it, and I was like, "What are you doing? Don't talk about it." Like, what? Yeah, it was just a topic which I told him to stop talking about, and it seemed like he might have been preparing to cross more lines with it, and so put him in a timeout. Hopefully that hopefully he understands that we're not talking about this. It's at the right place for that. So anyway, Eric, yeah. So we've made some progress on the actual main areas. I think next up is just quickly blocking out the hospital. But even then, like we're pretty close. Let's see. Can we get a nicer? Are there any nicer colors we can make this building? I don't know. What's like a color that would look all right? So we don't want to just make everything blue. Maybe a sky blue, maybe a little bit darker. Uh, a golden color ain't necessarily bad. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Um, I that's like I certainly when I was younger, autism spectrum, but still too much of a sense of humor for my own good. I certainly made edgy jokes, and I that's the thing. Like, there's a difference when an adult says it and when a person growing up says it. I think that we should understand the context here. Like, he's not a bad person. He's not morally failed. He's just in a society that is kind of weird about it, and he needs to, part of growing up is understanding the boundaries, and that requires a bit of pushback sometimes. And I think genuinely the best thing you can do a lot of the time when someone, breaks a social rule while developing is just point that out, make it awkward. That's how you grow, that's how you learn. And so hopefully, this was a learning moment. Otherwise, there's always a lessons can always be learned a later day, and not everyone is entitled to getting a lesson from every person. What about the mall? Oh, so the mall is this pier area. I ended up going with that because I felt that it would be a cooler area, and I didn't want to have both a mall and an outdoor market. So yeah, the yeah no I'm it's here's the thing. That's why it's a 10 minute. That's why it was a 10-minute mute. Wolf, like, he's not banned. He can come back in 10 minutes. I just, if he's messaging you, please express to him when he comes back. Just don't talk about it. We get it, okay? That that's the thing. Hmm. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it, Grizz. I try my best. Um, that's kind of the weird thing with my role, because the one thing I'm good at is making games, but at the same time, I think there's a bit of a responsibility to, try to be a good role model for the people who look up to you. And when you make a game a lot of people like, that just kind of happens. So, gotta try your best. I really did. I do like the original design for the hospital, so I'm not sure I'll be changing that too much. Let's see. Name. Is this a corner wedge? No, it's a concrete block. Okay, so let's just remake it very quickly. Will you still be streaming in progress of the game? Yeah, yeah. No, I'll be streaming this at least until we get something playable. That I don't. That's my main goal, just to stream until playability. Then after that point, we might not necessarily stream, but I enjoy it. It's just kind of that's the current goal here. Um, until playability. Okay, so let's move a little bit short here. Okay, we're down to the last 10 minutes, y'all. It's all right, Wolf Gamer. I certainly had anger issues when I was a teenager. I think it's just something you got to work through because when you're a teenager, all of a sudden you get all these angry emotions just from the chemicals, and then you got part of the growth is learning how to navigate those. You know, but it's an important thing to go through. You don't want to be a person who didn't figure it out by the time you're in college. So take your time, learn which ways best help you with that, and yeah. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Okay, is there any potential improvements I could make? I mean, like for the most part, this is a pretty. Well, no, I'm not a good person. I just have a head start. Like I think most of the things which people would consider bad behavior are things that you just figure out with time. And I just have had time. Like I was just as messy at figuring things out when I was younger. Yeah, in fact, I'd say that I was probably behind schedule on some things, but you got to figure it out. That's part of participating in society. You got to figure these things out. Being on the autism spectrum doesn't give you an excuse. Having some trauma doesn't give you an excuse. At the end of the day, there should be support for people with those things, but you only can really get that support most of the time unless you're able to be safe to be around, and that means learning to control your emotions, learning how to read people, at least the general ideas. And yeah, so yeah, definitely don't leave character development for later. Um, a church is fun for role play, but I feel like I'd get people annoyed at me because then you'd have a lot of memeing going around in the church, and yeah, just probably better to avoid that if I can. Okay, so that's going all right. All right, nice, nice. Okay, so hospital's looking all right. Let tweak the tweak that a bit. Okay, so that's okay. Let's move the entire. Okay, so roads. Um, News tower. There it is. Okay, so then group that together. Collapse all that. Map. Hospital. Map. Okay. Now let's quickly do some terrain painter. Okay, we're gonna do some grass. Lower the size a little bit. Oh, wait, not grass. Sorry, leafy grass. All right. So from there, so let's actually move the hospital back a bit because we want to have room for that little like emergency ramp thing, you know? Okay, so paint. Where'd it go? There it is, train painter. Okay, so okay, so that's pretty much up to there. Um, I shouldn't necessarily paint grass through the alley, but for the most part, I think, I think we're at a pretty good spot. I mean, like this, more or less, it will be what superhero life is going to be. The of course, we're gonna replace all the texture facade things with actual parts at some point. But for the most part, this is the city. Yeah, let's see, is there anything I would change? Guess we could see if lowering this looks better. It's a little bit better. But this doesn't need to be like a massive hospital or anything. Yeah, but yeah, this is pretty much it. Um, let's be adding facade as you mentioned. Doors, entrances, are yeah, focusing a lot more on street level. We're gonna do some street level. Like next time, we'll just be polishing stuff a little bit. I know this is a rough draft, but you know, going through, maybe adding a few trees around the corners and the edges and stuff. Like just going through, adding a base layer for you know, the Syndicorp building. Like just going through and sort of taking what we've made and converting it into something useful and you know, something that looks better at a ground level. But like in general, like we have, this is how it got blocked out. I think that we have some pretty cool stuff in store. And yeah, thank you all very much for joining me this far. I think we're on to some pretty cool things. I really like I do really like the town hall still. Like it's nice to be able to stop because the thing is, okay, so the town hall, for instance, we're gonna add stuff in these areas, but like this main atrium is probably pretty close to done, you know? Like just it's I think that there are, despite it being a rough draft, there are already places that I'm pretty proud of, you know? And yeah, I think that now that we have pretty much like literally minimal viable product, like just this is the most minimum we could have to continue on to the next thing. We don't like next time we'll probably start doing some code stuff too. Like we have a good, we're at a good place. And yeah, so we're just gonna continue doing some map polish and then, you know, continuing stuff. And I think, yeah, we're gonna start seeing the map really turn out nicely. But yeah, thank you all very much. Welcome back to Gaming Zone. Let's see. I think I think that we all, you know, we've got a pretty good map on our hands. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, have a great evening. All right. Bye.